Alright folks, how's it going? It's me, Leo, and today's video I'm going to be doing a wee comparison between Composite video, which is the yellow jack, RCA jack I'm sure you're all familiar with, and S video, which is this, on the PAL N64. Now for the PAL N64 you can't use any old S-video cable, you've got to use a special one modified for PAL consoles because for whatever reason Nintendo didn't think it was worth the expenditure putting the necessary hardware. I think it's like a resistor or two which costs nothing, like cents per console, but anyhow they didn't include it, so you have to get a specially modified cable. And basically, to summarise the difference between Composite video and S video, I think the S stands for separate, which I'll get into in a moment, but basically the Composite video, you've got the chroma signal, which is like the colour information, and the luma signal, which is the brightness information, and basically squished together and sent through the one cable. Whereas S video, the colour information and the brightness information get their own cables, so they're not squished together, and the end result should be better looking, which you'll hopefully see in the clips I show later in the video. In fact, probably show them right about now. Okay, just one more thing I'd like to mention quickly before I get started is the particular cable I bought was from a eBay store called Retro Square Shop. Now, although you can see on the screen it says it's sold for €59.88, that's the price with the UK's VAT added on. The actual price is €49.90. With the post and packaging it came to just over £62 sterling, which I don't know, it's a lot of money for a cable, but for me it was worth it. Anyhow, on with the comparisons. Now for starters, I'm going to start off with a few examples from GoldenEye. Starting off with the title screen, you're going to see a side-by-side comparison. On the left hand side we have Composite video, and on the right hand side we have S video. The most striking difference is the red in the number 4. On Composite it's a little bit fuzzy and washed out, whereas on the right it's a little bit sharper and more saturated, and also the text is also sharper. Now if we go to the gun barrel part of the opening, again it's a similar story, the picture's a little bit sharper. Colour saturation here, honestly, don't see that much of a difference. However, if we look at the GoldenEye logo, you will notice that the red ring is definitely less fuzzy and more sharp on the right hand side, and similar story, the text here is also sharper. Now I'm going to show a couple of clips full screen just so you can get a better idea of the picture quality. This first one is a Composite video. You'll notice things like, the crosshairs a bit soft and fuzzy, and the ammo counter maybe not the sharpest. Overall, a little bit on the soft side, as you'd expect for the N64. And here's an example of S video full screen. As you'll probably already notice, the crosshair is much better defined, so is the ammo counter, and overall it's a little bit sharper. Obviously the N64 has that double anti-aliasing output filter, so it's always going to be a tiny bit soft. Okay, and next up we're going to show some comparisons from Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, so first off I'm going to show a side-by-side comparison of stills from the intro video of the game. Here you can see Mumbo playing his xylophone. Now the differences aren't as in your face as perhaps the ones I showed with GoldenEye, but you can see that the red in the Nintendo logo on the S video, which is on the right hand side, a lot more saturated. The edges are maybe a little bit sharper. If you look at the keys in the xylophone, you're able to spot that there's no dot crawl on the S video side. It's maybe more apparent in motion, which I'm going to be showing next. Same as before, Composite on the left, S video on the right. You can decide for yourselves, which one, if S video actually looks better, because honestly looking at it, difference, at least in this footage, is pretty minimal. And after this side-by-side comparison, I'm going to show some full screen gameplay footage of Banjo-Kazooie First composite, then S-video. Start off, as I said, here's composite video. And here's S-video. Now, the first thing I noticed compared to composite video is the red texture on the ground looks much better, and the edges around the green crab enemies is a lot better defined. Now I'm going to do a quick wee side-by-side comparison of the main menu in Quake 64. Of course, again, it's composite on the left, S-video on the right. Now the main difference you'll probably see is that S-video is definitely that little bit sharper. Also, in the composite side, particularly in the Quake symbol and the word new next to it, you can see a wee bit of dot crawl, which of course will be more apparent in motion, which is why next I'm going to show a wee side-by-side comparison of the title screen in motion. And just as before, it's composite on the left and S-video on the right. And for my final comparison, I'm going to be showing some examples from Perfect Dark, starting off with a stills side-by-side comparison from the intro. Again, you can see with the composite on the left is a little bit on the soft side, and the S-video on the right is a little bit sharper. And here's a wee side-by-side of intro and motion. See if you can see any big differences in sharpness and definition of edges and colour saturation. And now here's some composite video of the Perfect Dark intro in full screen. And here's the same again, except in S-video. I don't know why it looks so different. I don't know if there was an effect playing that wasn't playing when I captured the composite, but it's definitely, I don't know, at least to my eye, much better looking. I hope you all enjoyed the video and found it somewhat informative. The comments section, of course, is open down below if you have any questions or comments about the video, and thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.